Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Monday, September the 11th, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Alice in Wonderland Tarot cards. So we have the Magician, and we have the experience to get through this situation. So we're closing off retrograde, time of reflection. What have we learned? This is a time for us to take away the illusion, because we're about to come into a very prosperous, very grounding situation in our life. And this is where Spirit is like, these people weren't meant to come here because they, like, you know what I mean? Some people are going to still try to come in, but it's just like, you're probably getting reminders of things, you know what I mean? That it's just like, no, they don't deserve to be like where you are now, because they didn't support you. They, like, when you needed them, they weren't there, you know? It's just like, reflection. It's just, you got to do what's best for you. Too long we beat it to someone else's drum, and it's just like, it's lead us down roads we shouldn't have been on, and it's just like, now it's sometimes we don't see how strong we are, and I feel like, you've probably gone through a situation to show you truly how strong you are, even when you didn't think you were. I went through that with Shane. I really didn't think, I thought once everything like got quiet, it was just like I would break. And thank, by the grace of Yahweh and Yeshua, I didn't, It just pushed me closer to by God's side, We have the Five of Pentacles, and this is where it's just like, purging, anxiety was the biggest thing for me during this retrograde, A lot of change happening, and it was just like so much. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like, you know what I mean? But this is where Spirit is just like, now. You know exactly what's who's what. And when this comes in, you do what's right for you. You're not nobody else. What's right for you. Because they'll try, oh, remember, I did this and this and this for you. Really? But you also did this and this and this, but we don't want to talk about that, do we? We just don't want to talk about the things that you feel like were good things, So I feel like the biggest thing is like taking away the illusion, And that's what people don't want to talk about. That it's an illusion. They like to put this illusion, this faux reality in front of you, a fake person, and it's not who they are. Taking away the blinders, We have the Six of Pentacles saying the same thing, you know what I mean? It's just like, this is where maybe money has been constricted, or with me, I have to watch paying my bills when I'm half asleep, because I always make mistakes. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to get paid no matter what. I don't know why I feel so urgent, like, oh, got to pay the bills right away. You know what I mean? I've always been like that, but I feel like it's more emphasized ever since Shane has transformed. It's just like, you know what I mean? To make sure that they're paid, but it's like they're going to get paid. You know what I mean? But I always make mistakes. Like, I pay with the wrong account or something like that. It's just like, good gravy. I gotta stop doing that. But I don't know. I feel like, even though, like, it's like you're happily broke because all the bills are paid, it's just like, I don't know. I just always get this urgency, that they have to get taken care of, I feel like anyone that's ever had, like, trauma when it comes to that kind of thing and that survivor mode, it's just like you feel that anxiousness. But I love the fact that Temperance is here. Let me just back this up a bit so we could just see there we go. Temperance, I feel like it's balancing the shadow and the light, and I feel like that's definitely with retrograde. I feel like with myself is to show how connected I truly am. Like, I didn't realize how connected I was. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where, like, to be humble that way, I feel like that is where the best healers are. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, you don't see yourself as this, even when I sometimes say that, like, oh, I was right. And it's like, no, Spirit was right. They shared the knowledge with me. The only way I would be able to know that knowledge is because of them. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's like, oh, they're being like open to receiving. I feel like this is like with knowledge, but I also feel like this is with pentacle energy. Be open to receiving. I feel like a lot of people that have that kind of trauma where it's just like when you've received something for someone, there's always been another alternative motive. So it never feels right receiving because you feel like they're saying some sort of backlash for it. You know what I mean? So it's like we're changing a lot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's like abolishing illusions. Herman, I feel like honestly, I literally just said this to someone last week. I was just like, the only time I get to rest is during Shabbat. That's it. But it's just like we're coming into Rosh Hashanah, and I feel like that's where like the world comes in. It's like the end of the cycle. You know what I mean? And it's like starting a brand new one. But it's just like I feel like because it's like the week of awe, 10 days of awe. It's just like these spiritual days, and I feel like it's just like regrounding ourselves. I love the fact that retrograde ends right before it starts, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Starting on this very, spiritual grounding path, leading us to that. And I feel like that's why I feel like this sleepiness. So I feel like catching up on sleep. I also feel like, you know what I mean? Meditation, catching up with family. But I feel like, this just time of like, just relax and just like kind of calm and just quiet and peace. I feel like a lot of us love that energy, just the quiet, like, you know what I mean? Where it's kind of like void of course, it's like get up, repeat, but everything is in that sweet energy, That's where I feel like the Page of Pentacles, they've been talking about this, 13th, 14th, 15th. 14th is when retrograde is supposed to go direct again. I almost said erect. Good gravy. But I feel like that's where Spirit is just like, you know what I mean? It's like this, they've been telling us about this. This Page of Pentacles, 3 weeks time, 3 weeks time. Even look at the way that Alice is just, you know what I mean? That, what a best energy is that. I love that. It's just relaxing. Your fur baby on you. I feel like hammock energy. Where you could just sit, like my son loves that. That's my favorite thing to do is lay in a hammock and just watch the clouds go by, or just sit there like in the pool. I was always scared it's gonna fall in the freaking water, but it's just like on a floaty, and just watching the clouds go by. Like, you're not a care in the world. You know what I mean? And I feel like we don't get enough of that anymore. They're saying solutions. Pay attention to your angel numbers. Dragonflies have been so significant, and they're big. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would see these tiny, beautiful, like, lilac ones. But today, just like this huge one just came buzzing right by my head. And I would just like, it would come out of like where you couldn't see it anymore. And then I'm just like, sitting there and I'm like, come on, Sonny. And it just kept on coming right by my head. It kept coming. I held my hand out hoping it would come on laying on my hand. But I'm just like, oh, Sonny might jump up and try to hurt it. So let's like not do that. My neighbors probably thought it was a nut job. But I just kept watching it, just kept spinning around and coming right back by my head. Just kept going around and around. I was just like, oh my gosh. I had things to do, or else I would have sat out there if we were doing some school. But it's just like, it was a very full day. But I feel like that's what Spirit reminds me of. Remember when it was really quiet and like 15 minutes would go by and it felt like 3 hours? I would just be happy when I could just go back to bed and just, turn it all off, and I didn't have to think about the things that were, change, transformation and all that. And I feel like that's where Spirit is just like, it's like happily busy, You don't have time to think about that. There was actually some monks that were talking about that on TikTok. They're like, this is why, back in the days, there wasn't these things that there are now, is because we were so busy, like farming the land and taking care of the family, and you know what I mean? It's just like, I feel like that's where it's just, I feel like Spirit reminds me of that. It's just like, remember when it was real quiet? And I'm like, yeah, it's like, I don't thrive in the quiet, but it's like, I'm also thankful for the quiet in a way where, you know what I mean? Like with Rosh Hashanah, it starts on Friday, and it's just like, it doesn't end till Sunday night. And it's just like, that time, of peace and calm and quiet. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a gift. It's a blessing, A lot of people, it's like, oh, you had all this time off. And it's like, you have no idea. Unless you actually participate in the actual prayers and everything, it's like you have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, it grounds me. It really centers. You know what I mean? Anyone that has any spiritual devotion, everyone's like, oh, you get to. It's like, There are things that you do that you have no idea. But I definitely feel at peace. And that's why I'm just like, I keep telling myself, it's like a couple more days. And it's just like that, I love this time of year. Rosh Hashanah all the way to Hanukkah. It's just, this beautiful time. And I feel like there's a lot of people go on like, oh my gosh, what do you call that? It's like a spiritual journey. A lot of people will sit there and go to places and bring the word. And it's just like, uplifting the communities, bringing gifts and presents and, doing some, helping with some labor work around the areas. They'll go for 6 weeks, Not a homage. Oh my gosh. Pilgrimage. It's a spiritual journey. And I feel like that's where a lot of us have probably gone through a spiritual journey with this retrograde, where it's just like, I feel like that's what Spirit is saying. Like, we have to take away the illusion so that way you can really delve into this, because sometimes we think things are a certain way, and then when that illusion is taken away, you're just like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, how did I miss that? People will thrive on your pain, and that's when you'll really see who the people are, who is by your side. And it says, like, you don't have to worry. This is a safe place. You can ground yourself, and you can let it out. You can sleep. I will protect you while you sleep. You don't have to feel like, you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing during these journeys is sleep, And it's just like, when your mind is like, my foot just vibrates. It's just because I'm full of this energy and I have to purge it out, That's why I feel like they're pushing me towards working out again, getting back to my weights, because that's like, even Matt, the comedian that I watch, he was talking about that. He's just like, when he goes through things, he's just like, let's take it out on the weights. And I'm like, yeah, let's go take it out on the garden. Let's go take it out on the grass. Let's go, you know what I mean? Let's do something just to get out there and just like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's where you thrive. And it's just like, there's a reason for that, That's why it's just like, oh my gosh, if I didn't have to freaking go back inside and, get this stuff done, because you have to be disciplined, you know what I mean? When you do certain things. And it's just like, I wish I could have just been like, let's grab the chairs and go sit out and just watch this dragonfly for the rest of the afternoon, but it's like things need to get done. But it's just, I feel like that's where, I feel like the blessings, like they're showing me this big, beautiful deck. I feel like, where it's like, where trees all around. And I feel like Spirit is just like, that's what's coming, where you're going to be able to do those things. You know what I mean? And you'll just be like so grateful that, you didn't give up in these times. You know what I mean? To get to this point. This is where I feel like they are always saying, don't give up on your dreams, because it's just like, when the good stuff comes in, you'll be grateful. You'll be like, wow, even when it was getting really hard there, like I never gave up. Universe, divine, creator, Gaia, Mother Earth never let me give up, because you were destined for greatness. Every action that we take, towards, future, I guess, towards the, what's coming up, it's like, unravels, as they call the book of life, or the key of life, where it's just like, that's where it's like how you step forward, your actions, consequences is what they're saying, is how everything unravels to who you are and who you become. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I used to question, why me with my childhood, but I'm just like, then it would have been my sister, could have been my brother, so at least they didn't have to take the brunt of that, so instead of saying why me, I'm like, well, at least it was me and not them. You learn to change things, how you say things. I used to wish, certain things, because it's just like, then when it happened, but you listen to the language of people around you and you're just like, oh, maybe that's why they did it, because of the language that was given. It's just like, well, they don't care, why should I, so it's just like, I feel like that's why they're saying take away the illusion, because of what's coming. I feel like it'll be 3 to 6 months. And I know everyone's like, oh, everyone says that 3 to 6 months you'll be in a whole totally different place, which we definitely will be. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like, don't let things hold you back, because this is why they're showing you these things now, because the things that are holding you back are the things that are actually hindering you, because you think that there's this loyalty or this because we're told and we're taught this is what it is, you know, but actions speak louder than words, you know. Some people have made situations worse by their actions, and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to go along with it to keep the peace because I don't have it in me to freaking fight against this. And I feel like that's why they're showing you, because it's just like, we're taking you to greater destinations, to greater focus is what they're saying, you know. Let Spirit guide you. Let Spirit take you to where you're supposed to go, and you'll see the difference, you know, and what you do. And I was just like, I'm listening, I'm all ears. I'm writing down the numbers. Like, I know some of them, I'm just like, you know, they're written down a lot. I'm like, yep, I know that's been written down a lot. I'll write times how many, you know, and I'll look up the definition. My phone, my screenshots are all full of angel numbers, you know, but I feel like it's important, you know. Keep an eye on those. Pay attention to your dreams. Write down what the definition is. What is Spirit trying to tell you at this time, you know? Let things unveil, you know. October 26th. See where, you know, that's over a month. That's just right before Halloween. The best time of the year. You guys follow my channel, you know I always have like skeletons and stuff out. You can see like in my background. It's either spiritual or skeletons. Oh man. Balancing the light with the dark. But you know, just trust yourself, be kind to yourself, you know. If you're able to sit there and get like time to just recalibrate, or not even recalibrate, just ground yourself and get some rest and rejuvenation, because we don't get that enough, you know, rest and rejuvenation. We're always pushing ourselves, you know. But you're being pushed towards the right destination. That's why the illusion's being taken away. Because you're being pushed in the right direction. And you won't realize it, and I know it hurts, and you know what I mean? I get it. Trust me, I get it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you think that it's going to be this, but then when it makes you feel the opposite of what you didn't want to feel, you thought this was that's the thing. We think things are the answers to certain things. And when they make you feel what you're trying not to feel, you're just like, you know? So I feel like that's where they're just like, take stock of that. Because this is exactly what you didn't want to feel. This is exactly what you were trying to avoid or escape, you know? This is what you went through before. So why are we going to rinse, recycle, and repeat again? You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, they're showing you. I'm sure they're great, amazing people, but it's just like, you know what I mean? If you can sit there and you look back on everything, you're just like, there was that moment right there. You know? They showed me who they were and I ignored that. Other moments where they showed you who they were and you ignored it. You know what I mean? It ain't going to get any better. There's like, it ain't going to get any better, baby. You know? It's just, they're going to just show you harder and harder who they are. You know? So I feel like, you know, the definition of insanity, what you've been doing isn't working. This is why they're saying, let's take away the illusion. And it hurts and it's painful and I get it, you know? But at least they're like, it's better to have loved than lost than never loved at all. It's true, but not to make you feel that way. It's like, if you've gone through that transition of heartache, where someone that you've given all of yourself has made you feel very small, it's like, why would you want to put any more time and energy into that? You know what I mean? It's just like, time to move forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Monday, September the 11th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.